So should all drivers get paid equally? Well, in today's video, we're gonna be doing something really new. I've never done this before. We're gonna go through 4 different scenarios, and I want you to pretend like you are the owner of a fleet of 150 power units, and you are making decisions for your company. So here we have scenario number 1, where you have 2 drivers applying for the exact same position. So there's a posting out there that says looking for long-haul truck drivers. Now, 2 drivers are applying for the same position. One driver has 2.5 years experience, and the other driver has 8.5 years experience. Now, the posting says hiring at 65 cents per mile. So what do you think? So from a driver's perspective, the driver that's with 2.5 years experience, obviously he thinks that it's fair because, why should I do the exact same job that somebody else with 8.5 years experience? Why should he get paid more than me, even though we're doing the exact same job? But the driver with 8.5 years of experience, he's probably thinking, hey, listen, I've been at this for 8.5 years. I'm probably safer. I have more miles under my belt, and I should probably get paid a little bit more for my service, for what I do as a company driver. Now, in all honesty, the company's perspective, my perspective personally, I truly believe that the driver with 8.5 years experience should be getting paid more than the driver with 2.5 years of experience, right? Why not? He's been at it for a lot longer. He has more miles under his belt. He's probably seen a lot more situations and scenarios on the road than the driver with 2.5 years. But our system doesn't pay for stuff like that. A vacant position is a vacant position. Both drivers will be brought on board by the same company, and both drivers will be getting paid the same rate per mile. So I truly believe, that that's not fair. All right, guys, so scenario number 2, you have 2 identical trucks. Well, they're not really identical, but they're identical. You have 2 drivers driving these trucks, okay? One driver is producing 10,500 miles every single month for the last 12 months, and the second driver is averaging 12,500 miles every single month for the last 12 months. Again, 12,500 miles is very high production truck, right? For a solo driver, consistent month over month. Now, does the driver that's making 12,500 miles every single month, should he get paid a little bit more for producing more mileage over the course of the year? Now, think about it. For a trucking company, if you own a trucking company, yes, that truck is a lot more profitable for you than a truck that's producing only 10,500 miles. Question is, should the driver that's making 12,500 miles every single month, should he be making a little bit more money on every single mile that he drives? All right, so scenario number 3. Now you have 2 drivers, identical drivers, with the exact same model year truck. They're both in your fleet. They've both been running in your fleet for about a year, and they're doing the exact same route. So they're picking up in one location, delivering at a second location, then picking up a loader trailer at that second location and bringing it back to location number 1. But these 2 trucks are identical trucks. They're both driving Freightliner Cascadias 2024. Now, driver number 1 somehow produces 9 miles per gallon, while driver number 2 somehow produces only 7 miles per gallon. So we've brought him into the company, and we've talked to him, and we've asked him to keep an eye out for the fuel consumption or his idling or the way he hammers down, on the gas pedal. But it doesn't matter what we do, driver number 1 is getting 9 miles per gallon and driver number 2 is getting 7 miles per gallon. So we thought, hey, let's do something else. Why don't we switch the drivers from truck number 1 to truck number 2? So driver that was getting 7 miles per gallon, we thought maybe it was a truck, even though they're exactly the same trucks. They came off the factory line at the same time because their VIN numbers are identical except that last digit. Now, when we switch the 2 drivers from truck number 1 to truck number 2, again, driver number 1 continued to get 9 miles per gallon, while the second driver continued to get 7 miles per gallon. Now, question for you guys out there is, should driver number 1 that's getting 9 miles per gallon be paid the same as driver number 2 that's getting 7 miles per gallon? Now, if we dissect it even a little bit more, 11,000 miles running at 9 miles per gallon at $4.50, which is the national average, is going to give you about $5,500 per month is the spend on fuel. The driver that's doing 7 miles per gallon with the exact same formula at $4.50 per mile, running 11,000 miles, that would give you $7,071 spent on fuel. Now, the difference between $5,500 and $7,7100 is about $1,500. So $1,500, the company made more on the driver that drove 9 miles per gallon versus the driver that drove 7 miles per gallon. Now, should that driver be paid extra for being so fuel efficient? Now, guys, when you're commenting on these scenarios, in the comments, just write scenario number 1, scenario number 2, whichever one you're commenting on. If you're commenting on multiple scenarios, then just put scenario number 1 and then your thoughts and opinion. Scenario number 2, your thoughts and opinion. I just want to talk a little bit about why in the world are pays so complicated. Okay, you know, everybody gets pissed off when they see job posting that says up to a certain amount, up to 75 cents per mile, up to 65 cents per mile. What does it mean by up to? Well, a lot of these scenarios are built into pay packages that if your fuel consumption is X, then you get this much more. And if you do over X amount of miles, you get that much more. So that's why you see that if you hit all these bonuses, you will get 65 cents per mile or 75 cents per mile. So I truly believe that that's wrong. I think you should post the rate per mile that you're paying, and then all these scenarios should be extras and bonuses to the driver. What I hate to see is people posting ads that say up to 75 cents per mile or up to 65 cents per mile, and then when you get to the interview or when you start or finish your paperwork, all of a sudden they're saying, well, yeah, you can get 65 cents per mile, but that's only if you do X, Y, and Z, and if your fuel consumption is this, and if you drive an average of this many miles per week or per month, and if you have a flawless safety record. So a lot of it ties into many other things that you're responsible for. So I don't like that. So our positions in Atlanta, Georgia that we're currently hiring, they get paid 65, and you see it flat out clear in our website that we're paying this much money, 65 cents per mile for van drivers, and then I don't remember what it is, 70 something cents per mile for flatbed division. Okay, so now let's get into scenario number 4. You have 2 drivers that are walking in for a vacant position. Most fleets out there have a few vacant positions, and a lot of vacancies are happening right now as drivers are shifting from company to company. There are vacancies out there, and as the fleets are growing at a rapid, crazy pace, 2 drivers walk in at the same time. One of them has a clean driving record. The other one has 3 or 4 different minor violations. Both of them have 6 years experience. They both have worked for reputable companies out there. Now, do both these drivers need to get paid exactly the same? Should the person that has a clean record, should he not be compensated a little bit more for having a clean record? I mean, it obviously says something about him or her. It says something about their personality. It says something about their driving habits. So definitely, you know, from a driver's perspective, of course, I, as the driver of my clean driving record, I would want to get compensated a little bit more per mile because of my flawless driving record. Now, the driver obviously that has a few blemishes and has a few violations on his record, obviously he would think that, you know, both drivers should get paid exactly the same because, you know, a minor violation is a minor violation. They're not major violations. But from a company's perspective, I truly believe that drivers with clean abstracts and clean driving records, if they have more years of experience, you know, I truly believe that a driver that is more fuel efficient and more cautious and idles less should get paid a little bit more. And I truly believe that drivers that produce a lot more miles should get paid a little bit more. Well, there you have it, guys. I mean, in this video, I did something a little bit new. I really wanted you guys to interact with this video. I want you to put the notes down. I'd really love to hear your opinion about drivers' pay. So again, the topic is, should all truck drivers get paid the same? And that's why I brought out these 4 scenarios. I wanted to hear your opinion on what you guys think. I definitely gave you what my opinion is and what I think about truck drivers and their pay scales, but what do you guys think out there? Make sure you put down the scenario when you give me your notes so I know which one you're referring to. Scenario number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Well, hopefully you learned something from this video. I'm Ronen, and I'll catch you in my next video.